Good morning, good morning. Welcome back to Led by the Word. I'm Liz.
I'm Chloe.
I'm Faith.
And I'm Mitchell, and we're going to start you off telling you about our prayer cloths. And it says on the prayer cloth, "And God wrought special miracles by the hands of Paul, so that from his body were brought unto the sick handkerchiefs or aprons, and the diseases departed from them, and the evil spirits went out of them." Acts 19:11 through 12. A lot of people are taking these and just putting them in their cars and just putting them in their wallets, taking them wherever they go. A member from our church put one in his grandson's car, and he walked out of a car wreck perfectly fine, not a scratch on him, so you should do the same. Today we're starting in 2 Kings chapter 14, and hopefully y'all turned in last week. King Joash died.
Yes, he is dead. So now the king of Israel is Jehoash. Slightly different. We thought they were the same person last week.
They're not
the same person.
They are not.
Newsflash, everybody.
Confirmation.
Yeah, it's been confirmed. So he's dead, and so he was killed by his servants back in chapter 13. So Amaziah's like, I'm gonna get revenge. You know, these guys, they killed my dad. And so Amaziah executed those who viewed his father's assassination a reasonable way to change their kingdom. So now this actually fulfilled God's commandment back in Genesis 9:5-7. "And surely your blood of your lives will I require, at the hand of every beast will I require it, and at the hand of man, at the hand of every man's brother will I require the life of man. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed, for in the image of God made he man." So at first when I read through this, I was like, why is this man going and murdering everybody? Like, I know they killed his dad, but I was like, you shouldn't do that. And then I read that and I was like, oh, it's fine. It's fine what he did. I was like, he was supposed
part
to.
of it.
I was like, okay, I get it. So then in verses 7 and 8, it tells us that Amaziah had slain all the Edomites. And do y'all know why they went to war with not war, but why did he feel the need to kill all the Edomites?
Well, later on in the chapter, he challenges somebody else. We'll get to that later, but it's probably having to do with either the fact that Edom was subdued by some other country, and he was taking it back and restoring it back to his kingdom, or he just wanted to fight and get another, more people or whatever to add to his kingdom, something like that, I guess. I don't know what was going through his mind.
You just said nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah. But so, because of Amaziah's trust in God, he was given the victory over the Edomites, but surprise, surprise, immediately after, he's like, I'm going to turn my heart away from you, God. So then he gets a really big head, and he's like, hey, Jehoash, let's meet face to face.
Up, bro.
Yeah, he's like, let's meet face to face. And Jehoash is like, no. And so, hang on, let me find. Yeah, let me find the verses. So, I think it was 7 and 8.
Right.
Yeah.
14
okay.
8.
Yeah, I got my place in the wrong thing. Okay. So then, in verse 10, it says, Thou hast indeed smitten Edom, and thine heart hath lifted thee up. Glory of this, and tarry at home. For why shouldest thou meddle to thy hurt, that thou shouldest fall, even thou and Judah with thee? So, he's getting this big head, and he's like, oh, I can do all these great things because I did this, and I defeated the Edomites. But it's like, you didn't do that. God did. And I feel like a lot of people, they'll get this big head. They're like, oh, I did this. I prayed for this person. They're healed. That's me. And it's like, no, that's God. That's not you. So I feel like, though, because Amaziah failed towards the end of his life, and, he went out pretty roughly. And so I feel like, though, if he would have just, stayed with God and he would have, kept doing what he was supposed to, he would have been way more successful, and,
It all ends out right.
Yeah, because then, Jehoash is like, I've easily captured you, and now I'm going to go here and steal all the gold and silver, which, they're kings. Why do they need more gold and silver?
It was probably more of an example thing, because I was thinking about that, too. It says in verse 13, and Jehoash, this is after he's, basically conquered, was it Amaziah already? It says, And Jehoash, king of Israel, took Amaziah, king of Judah, the son of Jehoash, the son of Ahaziah, the Beth Shemesh and came to Jerusalem, break down the wall of Jerusalem from the gate of Ephraim to the corner gate, 400 cubits. So he's like, okay, I'm coming here. I've conquered you. I'm going to make sure you know that I've conquered. So I'm going to cut down this whole gate. And then it says he took all the gold and silver and the vessels that were found in the house of the Lord and in the treasures of the king's house and hostages and returned to Samaria. So not only did he take this stuff from the Lord's house, he took hostages with him as well. Mm-hmm. But later on, it says Amaziah had lived after the death of Jehoash. Mm-hmm. So Jehoash didn't take him. So maybe the stuff that he had taken from him, that Jehoash had taken from him, was more of an example type thing. I've done this, I've conquered, don't be prideful next time. Mm-hmm. Showing him a lesson more so, possibly. I thought there was something interesting in chapter 14, verse 9, when Amaziah came or sent messengers to Jehoash, and he was talking, and he said, come on, let's look face to face. Jehoash sends him a parable back, or not a parable, it's just like a little story type thing. And it's in chapter 14, verse 9, it says, And Jehoash, the king of Israel, sent to Amaziah, king of Judah, saying, The thistle that was in Lebanon sent to the cedar that was in Lebanon, saying, Give thy daughter to my son to wife. And there passed by a wild beast that was in Lebanon and trode down the thistle. This thistle could also possibly represent a vine type thing that will wrap around the cedar and stunt the cedar's growth and keep the cedar down so other trees will grow over it. And that was sort of a representation of Amaziah trying to steal the glory of another kingdom, when this kingdom is obviously huge and strong and mighty. Is like, bro, no, you're gonna fail. And eventually he did fail. And that's what happens when you get a big head.
Mm-hmm. I know it said in here that some take Jehoash's fable as indicating that Amaziah had become upset at Joash's rejection of a request for a marriage alliance between them. So he got butthurt because he was rejected. He's like, I don't want my daughter marrying you. I'm sorry. He's like, mm-mm.
So Amaziah gets conspired against by his servants after this, possibly because of the stupidity of him, trying to fight this other kingdom. But then you have another king, which I thought was interesting. It has maybe 2 or 3 verses of him in the middle of chapter 14, and it's Azariah. And he's not mentioned very much, but in chapter 15 it says he did that was right according to, who was it? According to his father Amaziah. And Amaziah did what was right according to Joash. Joash was fine with the high places and the sacrifices. Yet he still did right in the sight of the Lord. He just didn't get rid of the high places. So Azariah later is struck with leprosy, possibly because of the fact, he needed to get rid of the high places, but wouldn't.
The reason for his leprosy was because he became arrogant and performed a task that only priests were allowed to do.
Yeah, because he went into the Lord's temple and I don't remember which part it was, but early on in the Old Testament, it was a king and a priest can't have the same. I can't think of the right word for it except for Jesus, the Messiah.
Yeah. There was something sad, kind of humorous, but something sad. In chapter 15, verse 13, says, Shalem, the son of Jabesh, began to reign in the 39th year of Uzziah, king of Judah, and reigned a full month in Samaria. I get a full month of rain, he says, and then he's killed by someone named Menahem, the son of Gadi. So Shalem gets a whole month of rule, and before he gets this month of rule, he kills the king before him. Then he gets his month, and then, what was it? Menahem? Or Menahim, whatever his name is. He kills Shalem, and what else did he do? Because it was pretty traumatizing.
Oh, are you talking about the...
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
He ripped open some pregnant women.
Yeah, so in chapter 15, verse... What verse is this?
It was,
verse 16. Then Menahem... I can't read that far. Then Menahem smote Tifsa and all that were therein, and the coast thereof from Tirzah, because they opened not to him. Therefore he smote it, and all the women therein that were with child he ripped up. And he was very evil king, like evil to the bone, just about. Under the reign of Pekah in Israel under the reign of Pekah and under the reign of Hoshea, was when Israel was eventually taken captive by an Assyrian king. And I found that before they had gotten taken captive, most of the kings before then, there was only just a few. The last good king in Israel before they were taken captive was Jehu. That was the last king who really did good. Then the rest of them were evil. Chaos ensued. And so did captivity. So that's what you get when you don't do the right thing. I see a God here. God himself. I see him as one who has had hundreds of years of patience with people. Like, he's been with these people from the beginning of Genesis. And it's been hundreds of years. And he still has so much patience with these people, and now it's finally getting to the point to where they just absolutely want nothing to do with him. Mm-hmm. And that leads to bad things in your life when that happens. So the people of Israel decided that they wanted to forget God completely, and that in turn led to captivity. But God made a covenant with their fathers, made promises with the people of Israel, and we actually have a book on some promises of God's.
This is You Can't Kill a Promise. It's a book of sermons from Anthony Wynn, and I don't know, are we still giving it away for free right now, or? Okay. We're giving them away for free at the moment. The first one's free. If you request more, you do have to pay a small amount. Okay, you can call in or you can request this via email. We'll have both of those on the screen if you'd like a copy.
Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been Led by the Word with all of us, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for joining Anthony Wynn Ministries. If you'd like to see more, join us for our Miracle Night Prayer Service. Miracle Night happens every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we join together in prayer and watch God move. If you'd like to participate in Miracle Night or join us for our other projects, you can follow us at Oasis Ministries on Facebook or follow us at Anthony Wynn on YouTube. We also want to say a special thank you to our partners of Anthony Wynn Ministries. Your gifts make it possible to give free ministry material to those in need. If you aren't already a partner, we ask you to pray about becoming one today. You can become a partner through our website at anthonywynn.org or calling 1-877-226-4088. And lastly, if you ever need prayer, please call us at 1-877-226-4088. or go to our website at anthonywynn.org. Thank you, and God bless.